Welcome. I'm here today with Norell Naidoo. Hi, Norell. How are you?
Hi, Amy. I'm well. Thank you. And yourself?
Great, thank you. I'm really excited to chat to you today because, the reason I wanted to have this discussion is, I know you're a performance coach. I know you're an emotional intelligence coach and leadership coach. You're the founder of Pro Leadership. And I wanted to, I guess, kind of talk about the world of coaching and really talk about what got you involved in coaching and also how people can work with you and those sorts of things too, because I know some people listening to this may be new to the whole coaching space. So I was really excited to sort of dive in with you and just hear a little bit about your journey in how you got started in coaching. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Not a problem. Not a problem. Glad to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, awesome. I'd love to just dive in. I love doing that straight away. We just get stuck straight into the good stuff.
That's
So tell
great.
me a little bit about your background and what really led you into starting your own coaching business.
Yeah. So I started my career in psychology, actually. So it all started way back when,
Yeah.
when I was back at university and working in retail at the same time and working for a large organization. I was able to observe a lot of the executive decisions that filtered down to the front line and had quite a bit of impact on frontline staff. For me, being a casual, university student, it wasn't such a bad situation for me. But for those who are, providing for families and, going through the daily grind, I could see and observe the impact that had on them and their mental health. When I was studying psychology, it all kind of came together
Yeah.
in the organizational psychology space, which is all about human behavior in the workplace and trying to really optimize the work environment for performance, but
Yeah.
as well as to maintain an environment that is psychologically safe for employees as well. So it's a really hard balance to strike.
Yeah.
And it does take a lot of effort, but that's the space that I was really drawn to. And I said to myself, I need to get to a position where I can influence at that level.
Yeah. I think it's super important as well, particularly with, even the last few years of turmoil that we've all been
Yeah.
through. And I think, life always has its ups and downs. So I think it's super important that we actually pay attention to our mental health and we actually pay attention to that in the workplace as well, and making sure that, leaders and staff and their employees are feeling safe at work as well mentally.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, look, we spend a majority of our waking moments in the workplace. I worked in big organizations, small organizations, New South Wales government as well. I worked in the recruitment or the assessment and talent space. So designing those best practice approaches in selection in order to choose the right person for the job. And that also is a very important thing because you want to choose, your high performer, the person with the best potential for the role. They also need to be happy in that role. So it's again, balancing act all comes down to how that person feels mentally and how the hiring manager and the team feels working with someone like that. But yeah, for myself, I got to a stage where I needed to, branch out my expertise. Now that I had hit that level for the recruitment space, I got into business partnering, and that's when I began coaching executives. That's where I began.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've shared a background in HR recruitment as well, so I know the space really well, and I know the psychometric assessments are like such a great data point. When you are looking to recruit, you are looking to hire, it just gives you that little bit of extra information and a little bit of an edge, I would say, in terms of making sure that you're making those right decisions.
Yeah.
I think it's really important work that you're doing as well. And what was it that made you? I know. Reached out to me a few months ago and you were like, hey, Amy, I'm kind of thinking about going on my own now. So what was it that made you really think, okay, I really want to start my own coaching business and be my own boss and really start to carve out my own path in that space?
Well, working on my career meant becoming an expert in my field, and my field is human behavior in the workplace.
Yeah.
And I realized that, well, as much as I enjoyed working in the government organizations that I had been, and there was multiple, to be an expert in the workplace, I need exposure to multiple workplaces and, to continue moving and not stay in one workplace. And so that was one of the things that, kind of spurred me on to looking at different organizations and different types. I started off freelancing for a startup at the same time as working for my last job. And that was what started to get me a little bit more excited about what I was doing and what I was building, and starting to think about, well, if I want to consult at the places that I want to consult in, then I need to work a little bit harder to get myself positioned in the right way. And so, I guess I was more active on LinkedIn. I started to become more and more active on LinkedIn. I started to work my networks a little bit more. And I came across a lot of your posts, videos, and helpful tips. And that's when I thought, you know what, I really need to get myself some coaching. Well, I believe in coaching, obviously. So I was on the lookout for a coach, a business coach in particular, that could give me some insight, that could lead me in the right direction to success.
Yeah. And when you were like considering making that jump, I know for some people, like for me, myself as well, like in my career, I'd kind of hit that level, I think, in my career where I thought, I'm kind of ready for something different. I'm kind of ready for a bit of a challenge. But there was also, a little bit of fear and hesitation there around, like, can I actually do this? Can I actually start my own business? What if I fail? Like, all of these sorts of things come into play. So what was sort of some of the challenges maybe that you were experiencing at that point in time where you'd made the decision that you wanted to go out there and start your own business, but it hadn't quite happened for you yet? Like, what was that sort of in-between phase like for you?
Yeah, look, I am fairly positively geared. So look, I have been saying this for a long time. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to have my own consulting business. I've been saying this for many, many years with my colleagues and saying to them, get ready, because I'm going to give you a call one day. Are you interested in doing something on the side? And they were like, yes, let's go. So then I had already verbalized it. And the biggest step was when I had announced it on LinkedIn. So once I did that and I announced it on LinkedIn and I, gave my profile a nice little zhuzh, it was done. And then that is when the middle part that you just mentioned started to kick in. It was well, now what? Now I have to, what's the next step? I have to talk to people? No, but I have been talking. Okay, but how? I think the how question was a bit daunting for me. So I found myself, like a little lost, I'd say. I am not the most highly administrative person. I know my strengths. And I would
hope you do, Norell, because you do strengths assessments for everyone. So I would hope you know your own strengths. I know you do. I'm only joking.
I definitely do. So I that's why I was like, oh, well, I do need some guidance here, because I know it's not my strongest point. It doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means I need to put more energy into it than the person who is naturally good at that. And so I just needed some help.
Yeah.
And that's where I reached out. Yeah.
And when you say the administration side of things, what are you referring to there? Was it more around the sales and marketing side, or like where were the real sort of gaps for you?
Yeah, so it was, look, I have not done digital marketing. So I understand, consumer psych and things like that. But it was more the actions, okay, so in this day and age where we're up to right now, what is working, what's not working? I don't want to be trialing and testing multiple methodologies because I just can't afford that time. And so, yeah, that was my gap. It was what happens on a daily basis, what do I need? What are the steps I need to take to build up the back end of this business and to start it going? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty similar as well, because, you're a great coach. You've got the coaching experience. You knew your niche, you knew who you wanted to help, you knew how you're going to help them. And then it comes to this whole online marketing space and then having to sell yourself as well versus, just being part of an organization. It's a big step for a lot of people as well. So I think, you did a brilliant job at being able to launch quite quickly and get out there and get your first few clients. I know when we worked together, you had your first couple of clients in a couple of weeks, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was great, exciting, and it was also daunting because, well, you're the person that needs to take care of them now, right?
That's it.
Yeah, completely responsible.
Yeah, working through the steps and knowing what to do and all of those sorts of things as well is super important.
Yeah, no, it's a really exciting time though. Definitely really exciting, and I'm still riding this excitement wave because it's still happening. I'm still building and I'm still getting there. But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And what were some of the things that you maybe didn't expect when you first started out in your business that maybe kind of surprised you?
I think nothing really surprised me, but I learned more about my own self. I'd say that would be the biggest thing. It was more about, well, I really don't like asking people for money.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm actually really passionate about what I do. And I have this great vision and I want to, obviously coming from the background I am, I want to help people, right? And that's just been such a big drive for me. And then I realized, when we spoke about pricing and positioning and that was the part for me that I was like, oh, well, yeah, I haven't really done enough of this. I mean, I worked in sales for a long time, but it wasn't obviously my business sales. It was like preset pricing, stickers, collateral, all organized. But finding that I have to, sell and position myself and look at my value. I know that I know what my value is, like I know what it is, but it was like, oh yeah, it was definitely an uncomfortable space for me to start working in, but something that I've learned a lot from as well.
Absolutely. And how do you think that sort of set you up for moving forward in your business now?
It definitely boosted my confidence in terms of what I bring to the table and the value I can offer. Yeah, so that was the good outcome of that uncomfortable situation, which I am selling to a lot of people as well. So it's good to go through an uncomfortable situation yourself.
Exactly. I don't think anyone really enjoys, really putting themselves out there or, having to sell yourself, but it's part of it, like if you are going to run a successful coaching consulting business, you have to know how to sell, and you have to know how to sell in a really authentic way so that it doesn't feel icky and slimy. And you're right, it might feel really uncomfortable at the start, but once you've got the right system, the right process, the right strategy in place, it just gets easier and easier over time.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you don't want that icky feeling because I'm sure you are. I am subject to a lot of icky sales pitches and messages and things like that. And it really makes me feel uncomfortable, and that's the last thing I want to do to any prospective client. I do not want them to feel uncomfortable. Who wants to work with someone that makes you feel uncomfortable? Definitely not me.
Exactly. It's finding the right strategy for you, right? And for your person that makes it feel really nice and authentic, but also gets results for your business as well.
Correct.
Sometimes there's a lot of people that, kind of just thinking, well, why isn't anyone buying from me? And then, they probably don't have the right selling strategy. There has to be some focus put on there.
Yeah, I think, trying to be just being yourself and just trying to be as authentic as possible. Just say what's on your mind. I mean, the person will select you in or select you out if they don't align with you or align with you, whichever way around it is,
Yeah, and I think that's you mentioned a great point there about being selective, because I think that's the great point about positioning yourself in the right way is that you can pick and choose the clients that you want to work with as well. You don't feel desperate for business all the time because you've got people, yes, you're asking other people if you can work with them, but you've got more people coming to you asking you, whether you can work with them. So it's a really good balance and puts you in a good position.
Yeah, no, definitely. Being selective about your clients, I think, is something that I've aligned with you from the very beginning when we first had conversations, before we even start our coaching relationship. I find that's a really, really important thing. I think, and I really value that part because you also want your client to be authentic about why they're sitting at the table. And a coaching relationship shouldn't just be a one-way street. I think it definitely is an opportunity for the coach to understand, to learn from the other person as well, and to grow as well. So when being selective of your client, you want that relationship to flow naturally. And if it doesn't, well, then no one's going to get anywhere, especially the person who is the coachee and looking for a service. And so it's really important that you be selective. I'd say you want someone to flourish as well. You want them to grow, and you want to see that. And if they're not willing to put in the work, because coaching relationship is about putting in the work as well. An athlete doesn't get to the Olympics because the coach is the best. The athlete gets, coach is great, but the athlete also does put in some work. Otherwise, they're not going anywhere.
Totally. And I think it's so important to get that right mix as well, and I'm very transparent and upfront with a lot of people that are just not a good fit. I'll just let them know, because there's no point, like you've got to make sure that it's the right fit. And I think, when you're in that position, it's the best position to be in, because you can pick and choose. You don't, like, I know some people when they're first starting out in business, they're like, I'll just say yes to anyone because I need the money, right? And when you don't have to rely on that as a strategy, it puts you in a totally different league in your business.
Yeah, I think that's an important point that you made. Being selective is definitely a part towards success, and also to align with your style. So in my style of coaching, I definitely ask for permission, at the very beginning, to be blunt or honest, because the whole point, I feel, is for growth, and growth doesn't happen in comfortable spaces. So if someone isn't willing to face hard truths at times, that may not be a good fit.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think we've had this conversation once before around the importance of, if you are a coach, actually getting your own coach as well. Like, I know for me in my own business and throughout my career, I've always worked with a variety of different coaches and mentors at different times to get me through different areas and different periods of growth as well. And I found it interesting as well when you were sort of sharing your journey that, one of your first instincts was, well, I don't want to waste a bunch of time. I actually just want to find out what works, and go to someone that's actually done it before and figure out, what they've already figured out, and just get them to show me the way. And so what would you say to people that, perhaps are a coach and maybe they kind of think that they know it all and they're resistant to actually hire a coach themselves?
If a coach says they know it all, then I'm not sure they're a coach. Practice what you preach, right? So it's definitely important for you to tap into a resource or another mentor or coach to be able to get that feedback. You're always looking for constructive feedback to grow. So I definitely think that's part and parcel of being a coach. So,
Yeah. And I think for some people as well, sometimes it's the investment that can hold them back as well. Like for some people, they're thinking, well, I've got this, I know I need to get this coach, but maybe they're a little bit expensive, or maybe it's a little bit more than what they thought, or, they're just kind of not sure about whether it's actually going to work for them. And there's an element of, the courage that we spoke about as well, to be a little bit vulnerable, to be a little bit uncomfortable, and to kind of put your money where your mouth is, essentially, too, in this business. So was that your experience as well? Like, what were your sorts of thoughts around, when it came to that investment in investing in yourself for coaching?
Yeah. Well, look, I look long term. I mean, if you're a business owner, looking into the long term is really important. So, you want to diversify your investments. You can have short-term wins with whatever you're doing in the short term. That's fine. Yeah. But looking at a long-term investment in yourself is actually ongoing. It should be an ongoing thing. Financially, yeah, for myself, look, I had the same thoughts. I obviously, when it comes to finances, any business owner has to think about their finances. And, or if you're starting a business, you're thinking about, oh, well, the money I saved up for this, for whatever it is, how am I spending that? Where am I putting my cash? And, what's going to be the outcome? What are the possible outcomes from this? I think I spent lots of time talking to you. For me, I needed to know who you are, understand where you come from.
Internet.
Exactly, not just posing on the internet and taking beautiful photos, being all glamorous.
Not me.
Wow, glamorous. And so I was looking at your photos for some inspiration.
There you go. Yeah.
So look, it's, I think, my approach is, to get to know the person. So one of my strengths is connecting with others and building relationships and learning about people in order to, help others or, get some help, both ways. So in terms of that, I spent time getting to know you. I spent time going through your website. I spent time doing your free training. And I looked at all of those things and I found alignment with what I was looking for, what my needs were, and what you were offering. So eventually I thought, well, it's either I can spend, like I said to you before, I can spend the next 12 to whatever months, trialing different methodologies, or I can come to you, we can have a chat, we can do this, I can invest in this, you can, coach me through those tried and tested methods, and well, I just pick it up from there. If I look at my per hour value, and the time that I would spend testing multiple methodologies versus the upfront investment. Well, gap analysis, like it was not, it wasn't worth it. I could be, up and running and earning my hourly value and make that up in a shorter period of time. So,
and did it work?
Yeah, it's working.
There you go.
Definitely working. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, it is.
I think we've even managed to bump up that hourly rate for yourself as well.
Yeah. So you see, this was the learning for me, where I was like, oh, I don't want to ask people for money like this. This is awkward. But that was a great lesson in. Which is what I found helped a lot, our coaching relationship, confidence. Building my confidence in those areas that I feel like, well, I'm not that strong in, or I need some more support, I'm a little bit in the dark. The coaching definitely was where that came in to help me out.
Absolutely. And what role is LinkedIn playing for you right now? And, how did you sort of feel getting started on the platform, and how do you see LinkedIn playing a part in your business moving forward?
LinkedIn is actually a great tool, quite powerful, because you can network. And I have been doing that for a little while. I've been building my networks throughout my career. Like, as the business became a reality, when I put it out there, I actually got a bit of feedback, from my network saying, "Hey, congratulations, this is great." And I was like, "Oh, wow." And like, a lot of people were reaching out and congratulating me. And so, as you know, Pro Leadership is the name I chose. It's based on proactivity.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so I like it. I love working in the proactive space, and my observation was always that we're working reactively, so much so that we don't have time to spend in that building place sometimes. We really need to, we could avoid a lot of the reactive work by investing some time in the proactive side. So I started calling it, what did I call it? Pro tips.
Yeah.
So now I've put up some
content on LinkedIn.
Yeah, some little posts on different things. It just showcases my expertise in areas. I share articles, I share things. It's a great way to network. I mean,
what result has it had on your business in being able to be out there on LinkedIn and kind of share a little bit around your expertise?
Well, people are noticing. And when I say people are noticing, I mean people in high up places are noticing and liking my posts. And I was like, whoa. I even got a friend request from someone, and I was like, well, this is not someone that would normally request. It would be someone I would request. So I was quite honored to be
someone quite senior,
yes, very. And I was quite excited with that, because I thought, oh wow, that person remembers me. So it really, it's getting me out there. Word is spreading.
You've got some clients through there as well.
Yeah, so in terms of clients, I have had a couple. Yes, so one of my client right now actually is from my network, who had seen that I was doing this, and we started to catch up. And then that was it. We started this conversation, and now we're halfway through this program that I developed for this client. And I got some feedback yesterday, which is great. So I always try to check in on how they're feeling about the approach and everything, and great feedback.
That's awesome.
So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, that's great. And then, more clients to come now. It's awesome.
Yeah, let's
have liftoff.
we do have liftoff. It's just, it's exciting, and all of that at the same time. I'm really enjoying it.
Because I know you've got quite a few opportunities now in the pipeline, which we'll keep under wraps for this interview. Be very quiet about it. But where do you want to take your business? Like, now that you're off and running, you're out there on LinkedIn, you're like more confident around your pricing, positioning, how you need to work with clients, all of that good stuff. Like, what's the real big vision for you? What's the big goal?
Sky's the limit, right? Look, when it comes to the question of how big, I think it has the potential to be quite large. It just depends on, where I want to go in the next, or where I'm at in my personal life as well. In the next couple of years, I would love to see myself building something up that, that I can have other consultants join. I already have, a great network right now in terms of those who are potential coaches or experts in human behavior that I know of, who are actually quite interested in, joining a team and doing some work with me as well. So I do have that, and I'm really excited because I can see these experts flourishing in this space. So in the next 12 months, what I would like to see is that I have enough clients that I can start to delegate some of that work to my colleagues. Grow the team, grow a team. I'd like to see at least one person join me in the next 12 months. I don't know, but I'd love to see that happen. That would be ideal.
No, that's great. And so what would your advice, if there's someone listening to this and, maybe they are great at coaching and maybe they really know that they actually want to start their own coaching business, what would be your advice to them, do you think?
If you feel like, you're great at coaching and you want to get into it, by all means, you should be trying to get into that space. If you're a great coach. Anyways, I mean, if you're looking to grow your business, just tap into a resource like you. And
because I'm here, right? But just kidding.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like you said, it's a matter of time. Time is the one thing that's quite expensive. So it's more expensive than most of the resources that we have because, well, you don't get it back. Yeah. And so I think, if you're looking to do that, go for it. Definitely go for it. Be realistic about it at the same time. Like, it's not all, well, it is a bed of roses, thorns and all. Yeah. But you just get ready to be uncomfortable. Yeah. And rewarding. Yeah, then it is a rewarding feeling when you meet your client and you start talking to them and they give you feedback.
Yeah.
Or you see them grow and develop. I mean, that anyways if you're a coach, right? And you do that already in an organization. But when it's your own, it's like a completely different feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can conquer the world.
That's so cool.
I have, there is definitely a different take or a different feeling when it comes to vocation. Really feel your vocation. Like for me, this is what I need to do. This is my calling. And I kind of always knew that what I need to do is I need to change the world. I don't know. I just
very big here, Norell. Don't even apologize for that. That's great.
Yeah, unapologetically wanting to change the world here. One organization at a time. But just generally speaking, I think I truly believe in the areas that I'm focusing on. So I'd say if you're a coach and you want to get into your own business, choose the areas that you want to focus on and really, really choose those areas those areas that you're completely driven by and that motivates you, because in those times where it's tough, then you got to remember, well, these are the areas that I am influencing from. So, and for me, that's what helps me when I think about oh gosh, this is difficult. I don't want to sit at my desk, or this is hard. I'm having this day or that day. I think to myself, well, what am I doing? I need to get out there and influence and help people and spread the word of strengths, or spread the word of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is such an important thing, and we just look at ability intelligence all the time. We keep looking at IQ a lot, and then when we look at emotional intelligence, we only look at emotional intelligence a lot more amongst leaders. Yeah, great predictor, but what about communities? What about all age groups, different levels within organizations, just to be able to recognize your own emotions and manage that, and then helps the other person to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Interacting with one another is unavoidable. So, it's something that I feel really strong towards. So that's when I say choose an area you feel really strongly towards, that will help you to get through those hard, difficult times.
I totally agree. Business isn't all rainbows and unicorns, right? You're always going to have good days and bad days, but I think you're exactly right. You know, being able to be in an area of your business where you're really passionate about it and getting the right help so that you can move through the things that may be a little bit uncomfortable for you, so that you can just move through them quite quickly, and you've got the right tools and the right plan.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
interacting with those people and other businesses who feel as passionate about what they do.
Yeah, for sure.
So when we say be selective, that's how I use my selection tool. It's like, is Amy as passionate as I am about what she does? You know, can I see her passion? Does she demonstrate it? You know, and for me, yes, so that's why we're in this coaching relationship. And so the same thing with whoever's, you know, trying to build their own business, like, you know, engage with those who are as passionate as you, if not more. They will drag you, they will drive you.
Yeah, you have no choice but to be successful.
Yes, yeah. And say it out loud, start telling people, because
Exactly.
back.
On LinkedIn, you might surprise yourself like you did.
Put it up on LinkedIn, just go new organization.
Yeah.
Business owner, founder, whatever it is, just
Yeah.
pop it in there and people will go, wow, okay, here you go. That's it. You marketed it already without even saying too much. Just put it up. That's
Exactly right. Norell, I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I always love catching up with you. I think it's absolutely great. And I'm so proud of your success as well, because I think, you know, you are that person that is so passionate about what you do. And you're also someone that is, you know, able to put in the work to be successful as well. And I think you've absolutely blitzed it, you know, to have no business, you know, when we got started, and to be where you are now, and be working with your first few clients and have so many new opportunities in the pipeline. And like you said, you're ready to take on the world. So I absolutely love it. And yeah, thank you for sharing a little bit of your journey with me today.
Thank you so much, Amy. I really appreciate your time today. And I really appreciate everything that you put into your own coaching. It's been such a pleasure and a really great experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for anyone that is interested in maybe learning more about what you do, where can they find you, and where can they connect with you?
So they can connect with me on LinkedIn. In fact, all my connection information is there. Yeah, just jump onto my LinkedIn page, and don't be shy. Please say hi, send me a message, a connection request, or just shoot me an email, and maybe we can even get on a phone call and just have a chat.
Great. So yeah, if you're listening to this and you know you have a team, or you know you're looking for some of that leadership coaching yourself, Norell is the person to go and speak to. So make sure you do go and connect with her on LinkedIn. Thank you again, Norell. This has been awesome, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Amy. You too. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.